Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. This should actually be a very auspicious weekend for a bunch of different religions. Not only is it Easter for Christians and Passover for Jewish people, it is also Ramadan for the Muslims, and also randomly it's Vaisakhi for the Sikhs over in India. So what we have is a confluence of numerous different religions around the world, and they are all celebrating a very important and holy festival this weekend, which is why what makes what happened at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Palestine just, I think, yesterday, all the more troubling and incredibly depressing. So that was just a bunch of Israeli police in riot gear interrupting prayer and using rubber bullets and tear gas at one of the holiest sites in Islam while they were there praying. This wasn't outside in response to a counter protest or a procession or something. This was literally barging into a place of worship with guns, like firing rubber bullets and tear gas, dressed for a riot in a place of worship. If any other kind of religion tried to do that to Christians here in the West, there would be outcry. But instead, the media decided to talk about it as if it was an even footing clash. Here's the Associated Press saying Palestinians and Israeli police clash at major holy site. Reuters has a nearly identical headline saying Palestinians clash with Israeli police at Jerusalem holy site, 152 injured. Now, again, those links will be down below, but what you will also notice is that it seems to be only, in terms of here's the people wounded. It's pretty much entirely Palestinians, because it was the Israeli riot police in riot gear showing up and disturbing prayer during the holy month of Ramadan. I'm pretty sure people would throw a fit if someone decided to interrupt Jewish prayer or vandalize someone's home and break and enter during a Passover Seder dinner. People would be very upset if someone crashed a Christian procession or decided to, go in guns blazing and throw a bunch of tear gas inside cathedrals and churches and whatnot to break up a mass for Christ's ascension into heaven, right? And notice how so quickly, right, when it comes to stuff like Ukraine, people have no choice but to rise up and defend themselves by violence if necessary when, they're faced with such oppressive powers on the other end, right? And then when it comes to Palestine, oh, no, come on, look, cooler heads need to prevail. We condemn, both sides. It's like, this is inexcusable. And sure, there's plenty of other news which we're going to probably touch on in the Sunday sum up or like on a Monday mashup video. But this right here, right now, shows several problems that I have with how international governments treat the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and how I'm not seeing enough sort of comparisons in terms of, hey, if this happened to, any one of us in the West, we would be absolutely mortified by this. And it also shows the just glaring hypocrisy. And it also shows, rather crucially, how the media helps manufacture consent by how they frame a story. It's clashes that leave 152 injured, rather than Israeli police storm a religious site while people are praying, throw around a bunch of tear gas and rubber bullets, and injure over 150 Palestinians minding their own goddamn business during the holy month of Ramadan. But if they did that, then we'd have to empathize with the Palestinian struggle for liberation. And right now, they can only afford to have us back the Ukrainian struggle for liberation, as we've seen just with all the other terrible coverage that goes with Ukraine, such as, leaving behind black students in Ukraine. And, oh, look, we have no room at all for brown people from the Middle East. So, kick rocks, buddy. But, oh, we can easily start handling millions upon millions of Ukrainians. And look, we expect to see bombs fall in the Middle East, but when you see it in Europe, that's just so mortifying, right? Like all that crap that we saw earlier on in the conflict. And here we are once again, where the media is manufacturing consent, trying to make it seem like it was an even footing clash, when it was the blatant disruption of peaceful prayer by riot police during a holy month that is being celebrated in some fashion by numerous different religions around the world. It is Easter, it is Passover, it is Ramadan, it is Vaisakhi, and yet, during this moment where we should all look at that and just be in awe at how human history has, in some similar way, been tied to these different festivals and seasons and the cycles of the moon and celebrations, and it reminds us of our shared common humanity, or at least it should. But instead, Israeli riot police had to ruin that for Palestinians minding their own business. And imagine, right? Whether you're a Sikh, you're a Muslim, you are a member of the Jewish faith, you are a Christian of any kind of denomination. Put yourself in that position, right? You're minding your own business, celebrating your God in a holy day, and someone or an organization decides to ruin that for you because they can. And then imagine that the international media covers it in such a way that makes it seem like you're just as bad of a side or a force when you are clearly the victim in that situation. During what should be a holy and celebratory time that reminds us of our shared common humanity, this had to go and ruin it. And really, it's not the only thing that's ruining it. We should be able to recognize more of our shared common humanity. But as various conflicts around the world, including very recently Ukraine and in Palestine, have shown, we still have a very long way to go as a species. And that's what's bothering me today.